So guys, welcome to another episode of Paul's Asian Adventure. This is part 2 of age gap relationships. What were we thinking?
What were we thinking?
We'll get to that. It's been raining a lot and we haven't been able to do a walk and talk, so we decided, you know what, we'll just do it inside. With that, welcome back and part 2. So I'll let Mia take the lead on this, as it was her idea, this age gap relationship
Was
video.
it?
Yes, it was. So we covered the financial, and then we covered also so-called manipulation, people saying, oh, by the way, don't forget to watch part 1 if you haven't seen it before watching part 2. So we covered financial and manipulation, and we had 2 more topics, and you were going to start with one of the topics that you wanted to talk about, and then we'll go from there.
Another stereotype or mindset that Filipinos, Filipinas, and other foreigners have when they see a film couple or that has an age gap relationship is that they would automatically assume she's in it for a green card. And even if they're already in the US and she already got a green card, they would keep using that term that after she gets the green card, she would leave him for another guy who's younger, better looking, or have much more money, I guess.
Or a combination thereof.
Or a combination, yes.
And actually, let's not beat around the bush, that happens a lot, actually.
It does,
and I saw it
yes.
firsthand. Now, me and my ex-wife, I wouldn't say she was that, because, I mean, she had her green card after 2 years, and we were together for like 6 years or something. So, but after the divorce, I really did see it, because I dated a bunch of Filipinas, and they were basically with their husbands all about 2 or 3 years, and then they were gone. And they were looking for a younger guy like me that was affluent, that had a good job.
Are you serious?
Yes, I dated many of those girls. And of course I had no intentions long-term, because I saw who they were as a person.
Character, I guess.
But they were fun girls for me,
Okay. Yeah,
So-
but the thing is, there are
just wait. There are also those girls that have good intentions.
Yeah.
And how do you know that? Well, you don't really know that, because the guys that come here on a vacation, meet a girl, and I have to admit, that's kind of what I did, right? I came here several times by the same girl, but I never lived with her. Even though things would work out to a certain extent, even though it didn't at the end. But you don't really know that person, and you don't know their intentions. You kind of have to look at their background, their history, their family life, and all that. And also you have to think about, and we partially covered this in the last video, you have to think about, you're taking her out of a society, a culture that is way different than the culture you're planting her in.
Yeah.
Okay? There are certain rules, there are certain societal norms, there are certain way women look upon other women, the way they shame women will shame other women if they do something wrong. And you take them to a different country that maybe has a lot more, people call it freedom, to do whatever you want, whenever you want, and no one is shamed for it. So there is, and if that person is easily influenced, and typically, not always, but typically the younger they are, the easier they are to influence. That's part of being young, right?
Yeah.
Discovering things. And you bring them to the West, the US, or another country that's, let's just be honest, the society has pretty much gone downhill when it comes to family and marriage. And you take them to that society, they will be influenced if they're in the wrong environment, meaning if they start hanging out with other Filipinas who have gone through divorce, of course, are going to get influenced by that.
Yeah.
So, as kind of like I said before, if you are taking a girl which to the West that you really don't know, you have to make sure that she is not influenced by the wrong type of people. So you can't say, and that's partially what I did wrong, so I'm telling you about my mistakes. You can't just let her out, go on a girls' night out and all that. It'll end bad. Because, you know, what the girls go do when they go out, they might not be with another guy, but they see other guys. They see other possibilities. They start talking among themselves, oh, he's cute, and blah, blah, blah. And then temptation leads you down a road that's not good for the family, for the marriage.
Yeah, I've seen cases like that. But there are actually good Filipinas out there, and even
There are many good Filipinos out
yes,
there.
and then you know people who have this kind of negative mindset that even though that film couple's been together for a very long time, they keep putting that negative stereotype that oh she's just with him because of this and that.
Yeah,
right?
but those people are just coping because their lives are miserable.
Yeah.
But I read a statistic somewhere that Americans married to foreigner wives, their divorce is less than 25%, while American married to American women, the divorce is what now, 50 or 55%. So just looking at the statistics, you have a much better chance of your marriage lasting marrying a foreign woman, whether it's a Filipina or a South American woman or from a culture that values marriage and values
Family.
the longevity of the marriage and family.
Yeah, yeah. That actually leads me to another point, which talks to mostly older foreigner, and these Filipinos and Filipinas, they call them the reject.
The older men are the rejects, or the women that they're with are the rejects?
The men who come to the Philippines are rejects from their country, and that no women in their country want them, so they come here to the Philippines to find an easy girl who can, you know, who they can get like so easy without any
With less effort.
yes, with less effort. Because back in the West, you have to do a lot of effort
Okay,
just so you get that girl to say yes. You
so
know?
I've heard that argument before, and it's usually coming from women and some feminist men as well. And to me, it's like a coping mechanism. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not saying all the guys, but a lot of the guys that can afford to travel, they're the guys who have money. If you have no money, you can't afford to travel. That's number one. Number two is the guys that typically come over here, they've already been with women in the West.
Yeah.
Most of them have been in their first, second, and third marriage and are divorced and had enough of American women or European women or whichever Western country you want to choose, and have decided, you know what, I'm just not doing this anymore.
Time for change.
And the time for change. And then the other thing is, if you look at the quality of women in the West, what is the obesity, fat and obesity rate in the US now? 60, 70, 80%? It's very unattractive. I mean, when I'm in the US and I go to a shop and I see the women there, it's like, oh God, it's like no attraction. And then I hear them talk, the way they talk, even less attraction. Just no interest. So you talk about the guys not able to get a woman there. Many of these guys don't want the women there. Even if there was no Filipinos, they wouldn't be dating the women there. They've just had it with these women. You know, their attitudes, the way they look, that they think they're the whole table. No matter how fat they are, no matter how tatted up they are, no matter how many baby daddies they have, they think they're the queen. And it's just, and guys have just had it. They're like, you know what? I'd rather be alone, in peace, playing PlayStation, Xbox, whatever, just doing my own thing, going hunting, you know, going skiing, doing my own thing, not wasting money and time and effort on these women.
Yeah.
And then they discover the Philippines, or they discover South America, or they go on vacation somewhere and they realize, not all women are like that. Some women are very traditional, very feminine. And they're like, wow, this is how I remember my mom being, or this is how I remember my grandmother being. And I think to myself, this is where I want to end up. I want to come here. I want to find, that person who I can be with that gives me peace. Some people don't want to get married. Some people don't even want a long-term relationship. They just want to be with different girls, and that's fine. But the other thing that people, when they say like that you can't get women over there or something like that, it's like everything, all the arguments I use, why would you, right? But also I compare it to, and I think I mentioned this earlier, fishing. If you go to a pond and you're trying to fish, and the fish are, every time you pick a fish up, it's like half dead, and the river or the pond is somewhat polluted and everything, and you're like, I can't eat this fish. It looks horrible, right? I'd rather just throw it back in there, and you're like, And then somebody comes by and says, dude, have you tried that pond, which is 5 miles up the river? The water is clear, it's fresh, and the fish there taste amazing. Would you keep fishing in the same pond, or would you pack your stuff and walk 5 miles and go to the next pond?
Yeah.
It's the same with women. If women in the West could go somewhere and they could meet these amazing men that were billionaires, all of them, they'd all be fleeing over there, So, but women in the West basically have the best possibility they can have, which is in the US or Western Europe. They have nowhere else to go. Well, men have a lot of places they can go where they can meet feminine men. And that kind of pisses them off, and they have all these coping and shaming tactics. They try to shame men back into place, back into the plantation, And men see right through it now. We really do. And we're like, yeah, bye-bye. So, yeah. So another thing that people say when it comes to age gap relationship is that we have nothing in common. I'm not talking about me and you, but just age gap relation.
General,
A guy who's 60 and a girl who's 25, 30, they have nothing in common. And I find that really hilarious when people say that, because I look at other people who are the same age and they hardly ever talk. I mean, I remember being in the US or other countries and they're the same age, out eating, not saying a word. And I think about me and you, we're always talking and laughing and doing stuff together. And I see other people in age gap relationships that are the same. And I think to myself, really, it's not that it's the age gap relationship that you don't have something in common. It's what you build together. The memories you build together, the experiences you build together, the laughter you build together, and you talk about it. Oh, you remember when we did that? I know, it's so funny, and blah, blah, blah. And then and slowly, you get the same interest anyway.
Yeah.
Like we both love nature, so we always try to go into nature. We both love to travel. We both love food. So we find the same interests, and we like to talk about the same things. If you had been 45 years old, I can't imagine that I'd be talking more to you. What would I be talking to you about more? I mean, history, or, what would we be talking about more? So I find that so hilarious when people say that. It's not about the age. It's about the interests, right? What are you interested in? And that's what really counts. And it's also about the person you're dating. Let's face it, some people just don't talk, right? Or some girls, all they want to do is chica, right? They have really nothing to say about anything.
As long as both of them get something out of that relationship. It's like a companionship type of deal.
Yeah, but like I can understand people saying, like, if we go out to eat and we see a couple and they're just on their phones all the time while they're eating, to me,
there's
I
no
kind of
point
think
in
to
going
myself, that can't be a really good relationship, because first of all, when you go out, you're going out to kind of talk about, make it a nice evening and all that, and then you're just on your phone. That tells me that's not a good relationship. But I've seen that here between age gap relationships, but I've also seen that in the West between people who look like they've been together for a long time, older couples. I mean, not older, but like in their 45s, 50s, 55s. So I think it's basically boils down to what interest you have and growing together. So people might say, how can you grow together when you're 55 and she's 25? Yes, you can. Really, I've seen it. my friend in Houston, he's older than me by 20 years. And his wife and him are 40 years. And God, they always have fun together. You know, so it is possible, but maybe not possible for everybody. Maybe
Yeah.
not possible for every Filipina.
It takes
and
work and effort.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Every relationship does.
Yeah.
You have to learn to communicate. You have to learn, like for example, I like to joke. Okay, I'm
Yes.
always joking. I'm always doing stupid stuff, and you think it's funny.
Mm.
Maybe if it was another girl, she'd look at me and like, "You're weird."
What's
you know?
wrong with you?
I couldn't be with a girl like that because that's who I am. I like to joke and do stupid stuff. You know, that's just who I am.
Yeah.
So I have to be with someone like you. But if I was with a different girl, maybe we'd just sit at the table and look at the phones because we have nothing in common, you know? So I don't think it's the age. I think it's more the interest, what people are interested in.
Also, I just want to point out though, like when you look at history, how men at the top, or even the kings, the soldiers,
Like the top 1 or 2 or 3% of society. Yeah.
yes, you know, they would always look for a younger wife.
Yeah.
They would always look to have a girl that's young who can give them an offspring,
Yeah.
right? To continue their legacy or whatever.
Mm.
So, and it's not new in this day and age wherein men are looking for a young girl
It's in
to have a
men's
family with.
It's in men's DNA. Men's DNA is to look for a younger,
Fertile.
fertile girl.
Mm.
Women's DNA is to look for
A man
secure
who's-
man who can protect them. That's
Yeah.
just the way it is. People can accept it or not accept it. It's just the way it is.
They don't accept it. It's just like, "Yeah, there's
No, I
something
know.
wrong with it. It's like, no, that's not supposed to.
It's
that's not how-"
nature. It's just nature, man. This is the way it is. Anyway, I think we'll cut it out there. And if you guys have something to say about this subject matter, go ahead and put it in the comments, and I'll read the comments. And if I have time, I'll reply. Right now, we're pretty busy. We're on the move again, believe it or not, and we're packing and cleaning and getting ready to go. So the next few days are going to be really, really busy.
Yep.
So with that, thank you for watching. Actually, by the time you see this, we'll probably have gone. But with that, we'll see you on the next one. And don't forget, if you enjoyed the video, share it, subscribe, and like it.